Welcome, age of vintage society. Amidst the chaos of Hong Kong's busy streets lies a treasure trove of stories waiting to be told. Wendy Barrie's life is one of those stories that originated from Hong Kong's rich history. What drove Wendy Barrie to choose love with criminals over a secure life? Hollywood is the land of glamour, fame and fortune, where countless talented artists come to fulfill their dreams. Among these there was a young and talented actress whose beauty, charisma and acting prowess took Hollywood by storm. Her name was Wendy Barrie. The 1930s and 1940s was her era. She starred in numerous films and was even a host of her own radio and television show. Her alluring personality and undeniable talent were not just limited to the screen. She also inspired the world off the screen, but not just because of her beauty. What was truly special about Wendy was the way she dealt with the hardships. She was a resilient and strong woman who worked hard to overcome the challenges she faced. Maybe you already know that, right? But what many people don't know is that she was involved in a love affair with the most notorious gangsters in history. Yes, you heard it right. The gangster. Who was he? Was Wendy Barrie actually engaged to that gangster? You will get all the answers by the end of this video, so let's dive into a fascinating story that involves love, fame and crime. Born in Hong Kong in 1912, she was the only child of British parents. Her father was a well-known lawyer, while her mother was an accomplished pianist. With such a rich and diverse upbringing, it's no surprise that Wendy developed a deep appreciation for the arts and culture from a very young age. This passion for creativity would continue to shape her life in countless ways. She grew up in a privileged environment, but growing up in Hong Kong in the early 1900s was no easy feat. The city was under British rule, and the tensions between the colonial powers and the locals were high. Wendy's parents shielded her from the harsh realities of the world outside, and she spent most of her childhood inside the walls of St. Paul's College. St. Paul's College was the hub of the British expat community in Hong Kong. Wendy's father was highly respected in the community, and the college was a melting pot of culture and ideas. So it was the place where her passion for acting was first incited. In the hallowed halls of the school, a vibrant drama society thrived, and Wendy was among its regular members. Despite her young age, her talent shone brightly whenever she took to the stage. Her undeniable gift for the dramatic arts was soon noticed by a keen-eyed scout from Hollywood, eager to unearth the brightest stars of the future. Did you know that Wendy actually has quite an interesting background? When she was just a kid, her family packed up and moved to England. Even though she came from a pretty well-off family, she wasn't content with just resting on her laurels. Nope, she had big dreams of making it in the entertainment industry, starting with acting in theatre plays. Eventually, she decided to head out to Hollywood and really go for it. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Wendy had to hustle hard to make a name for herself in the cutthroat world of film. She really had to prove herself to directors and producers. But you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Wendy Barrie started her career as a contract player at MGM Studios back in the 1930s. She started off with small roles in a few films, but things really took off for her when she snagged the lead role in the musical comedy High Flyers in 1936. She starred opposite Burt Lahr, and the film was a massive hit. Critics and audiences alike loved her performance, and she quickly became one of the most in-demand actresses in Hollywood. Maybe it was her persistence, or maybe it had something to do with her stage name, but either way she had made it big. Wondering what is the story behind her stage name? In case you don't know, Wendy Barrie was not her actual name. In the early days of her career, she went by her birth name, Marguerite Jenkins. But one day she decided to change her stage name to Wendy Barrie in honour of her godfather. Her godfather was none other than J.M. Barrie, the author of the beloved children's book Peter Pan, and he had a significant influence in Wendy's life. In fact, some people speculate that Wendy's character in the 1934 film The Private Life of Don Juan was based on Barrie's most famous character, Wendy Darling. The story of Wendy Barrie and her connection to the beloved character of Peter Pan is a reminder that sometimes the most inspiring stories come from real life. With this lucky name, Wendy appeared in many films throughout her career, such as Slave Ship, Crime School, The Great Garrick, Mad About Music, and My Lucky Star. She was one heck of an actress who could rock any genre, from comedy to drama to musicals. You name it, she's done it. And get this, she worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood like Clark Gable, Spencer Tracy, and James Stewart. Wendy even stole the show in her performance alongside Clark Gable in the 1937 film Call of the Wild. The critics loved her. But what really put her on the map was her iconic role in The Hound of the Baskervilles, where she starred alongside the legends Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. She played Beryl Stapleton. Man, she was amazing. She brought so much emotion and intensity to that role, especially when she was being chased by that vicious hound. Wendy's performance was so good that she became an overnight sensation and a household name. But you know what? Wendy's success in Hollywood wasn't just because of her acting skills. No, she had so much more going for her. She was drop-dead gorgeous, elegant, and graceful, both on and off the screen. Her style was out of this world, and she set many trends. In fact, her fashion choices inspired so many women all around the world to dress just like her. She was truly an icon in every sense of the word. But behind the glamorous facade, she had a personal life that was just as fascinating as her career. Wendy's love life was the talk of the town, with rumours and scandals surrounding her every move. But her most famous romance was Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. Why most famous? Maybe because Bugsy Siegel was a notorious gangster and one of the founding members of the Mafia. He was known for his ruthless behaviour and involvement in organised crime. But despite his criminal reputation, Bugsy was also known for his charm and charisma, which is how he caught the eye of Wendy Barrie. Wendy and Bugsy first met in the late 1930s and quickly became inseparable. They were often seen together at Hollywood parties and events, and it wasn't long before rumours started circulating that they were engaged. But the question remains, were they really engaged? Wendy was photographed wearing a diamond engagement ring, and Bugsy was known to refer to her as his future wife. But despite these rumours, the couple never officially announced their engagement, leaving their relationship status a mystery. Unfortunately, their love story came to an abrupt end when Bugsy was assassinated in 1947. Wendy was devastated by his death and never fully recovered from the loss. So whether Wendy Barrie engaged to Bugsy Siegel or not, one thing is certain: their love story was one for the books. Despite their vastly different backgrounds and lifestyles, Wendy and Bugsy were drawn to each other and formed a bond that lasted until Bugsy's tragic death. But her love life was not just limited to that mysterious romance. Her natural beauty, sparkling eyes, and contagious smile won the hearts of many other eligible bachelors of her time. One of them was Stuart Granger, a dashing actor who was equally famous for his good looks and acting skills. The two fell in love on the set of the movie The Saint in London, and soon became the talk of the town. Wendy Barrie once claimed that I never really believed in love at first sight until I met Stuart. He was charming, handsome, and made me feel alive. Wendy and Stuart were a match made in heaven, but their romance was short-lived. Stuart's growing fame and his roving eye eventually led to their break-up, leaving Wendy heartbroken. Still, Wendy was not one to stay down for long. She soon fell in love with another handsome actor, Bruce Cabot, and the two became inseparable, but their romance was not without its challenges. Wendy and Bruce's relationship was tumultuous, with frequent fights and disagreements, but through it all they remained deeply in love, and their romance continued to capture the public's attention. Wendy and Bruce's love story was one of passion, heartbreak, and redemption. Their relationship may have been rocky, but their love for each other was undeniable. Wendy Barrie may have been a Hollywood star, but she was also a woman with a heart full of love and passion. Her romances may have been the talk of the town, but at the end of the day, she was just like any other woman, looking for someone to be settled down with. But it seems like she was not fortunate enough to enjoy a healthy marriage for a longer period. She was married to the charming actor David Mayer, but their relationship was a roller coaster ride. David had a bit of a wandering eye, and Wendy had to deal with that, which became the cause of depression and alcoholism. Unfortunately, her career started to suffer as well. But Wendy didn't give up. She fought to overcome her challenges and eventually sought help for her alcoholism. She's a true inspiration for never giving up and continuing to work on herself. But things didn't end here. She went through a difficult divorce from her husband, which further affected her mental and emotional well-being. So, was Wendy's personal life the ultimate reason behind her career decline? Partly yes. No doubt her turbulent marriage played a major role in her career decline, but another reason was the changing landscape of Hollywood in the mid-1950s. The film industry shifted towards more modern and experimental films. This resulted in a decrease in demand for traditional and classical Hollywood stars like Wendy Barrie. Furthermore, as she grew older, she found it increasingly challenging to find roles that suited her age and acting style. Her last few film roles were supporting parts. Despite these challenges, Wendy remained persistent and determined. She continued to work hard. Wendy's resilience and hard work paid off, and she went on to have a successful career in television. It was her charm that made her a natural fit for television. She quickly became a popular figure on TV after she appeared in several popular TV shows. She also hosted her own show, The Wendy Barrie Show, which aired on CBS in the late 1950s. But do you know that she was not just a typical TV host? In fact, she was a pioneer in the world of television. Yes, she became the first woman to host a live television cooking show. Her show was a huge success, and it paved the way for many future generations of actresses. When it came to the radio, Wendy Barrie truly shone there as well. She was a regular on several radio shows throughout the 1940s and 50s, including the Chase and Sanborn Hour and the Lux Radio Theatre. It was Wendy's beautiful voice that made her a perfect fit for radio, and she quickly became one of the most popular radio personalities of her time. She had a natural talent for storytelling, and her performances were always engaging and entertaining. Wendy's radio career also included hosting her own show, Wendy Barrie's Cafe Society, which aired on NBC in the mid-1940s. The show was a mix of music, comedy, and celebrity interviews, and featured appearances by some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Her warmth and charm made her a favourite among audiences, and her popularity continued to grow throughout her career. Film, TV, and then radio. Isn't it amazing how a performer can be so versatile? Well, Wendy Barrie's work on radio and television was just one aspect of her multifaceted career. She was a true entertainment icon, whose talent and beauty left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. Wendy Barrie was a woman ahead of her time. She was a trailblazer for women in entertainment. She broke barriers in Hollywood, championed causes close to her heart, and never lost touch with her roots. Even when she was at the height of success, Wendy never forgot her roots. She remained connected to Hong Kong throughout her life and was actively involved in charity work for the local community. But as with all good things, Wendy Barrie's success was not without its struggles. Despite the hurdles she faced, she remains an inspiration to aspiring actors and actresses, demonstrating that with hard work and determination, anything is possible. Her legacy is not just limited to her work in entertainment. She was also a philanthropist who dedicated her time and resources to various charitable causes. She was a true inspiration to many, and her influence can still be felt today. Unfortunately, Wendy's life came to a tragic end in 1978, when she was murdered in her own home. Her death shocked the world, and it was a devastating loss for the world. Despite her untimely death, Wendy Barrie's legacy lives on. She will always be remembered as a shining example of Hollywood's golden age. Don't you think that legends like Wendy Barrie are born once in a lifetime? But wait, the drama doesn't end here. Join us in our next video as we delve into the tumultuous tale of Pina Pelissa, whose heart was shattered by Marlon Brando's infamous love.